Hello everybody. For safety reasons, please disconnect the battery prior to installing the MSD two-step system. If you like the video, thumbs up it and subscribe. Thank you and enjoy watching. Hi everybody, my name is Ernie and this is the Terminator. It's my 2016 C7 ZO6 and we are about to do a MSD two-step install, and we are going to use a Hurst pistol grip shifter with a momentary button on top, and that's how we're going to actually activate the step 2 system. So here we laid out the box and just double-sided tape it right here to the side of the firewall. And then right here we just ran the wires, and we haven't tucked it in or plugged them in yet, but we're going to show you just on one how to do it, and then we'll go through and do the rest of them pretty quickly. And this is Joe, my helpful assistant and neighbor, and we have it on that side too as well. We ran the wires kind of exactly in the area that we want to go, and then underneath this plastic piece here to hide some of the harness itself. Alright, so you're going to need some assorted connectors, some wire. We used the blue wiring, which would be 14 to 16 gauge, and we have the instructions, and we are going to use the solid blue wire, which is the one that was recommended, and I saw on YouTube as well. It was recommended for the install, especially with a momentary switch. And so what we did is first ran this solid blue wire through the firewall into the compartment where the clutch is coming out. Now we are not using the clutch itself. There we go. And we have some thunder going on too. So what we'll do is we will zip tie the wires up there, and we'll bring it across to the center console, and from the center console we will change out the knob with the pistol grip knob from Hurst, and then we'll ground it, and then you have to take off the center console glove box because that kind of gets a little bit in the way. We loosened this up already so we can take it off. The console itself here comes apart, and you can see that knob there. This is an MGW shifter. Some people may have a Hurst shifter. These are short throw shifters, not the stock setup here. So I do have to change out the shaft to put the right shaft in to work with the Hurst gear shift shifter, and it is a M12 by 1.25 millimeter. All right, so I'm going to put this on pause, and then we're going to go up to the front, and then we'll start on the install of the electronics, wiring, and harness. Okay, so what we did is we finished cleaning up some of the wiring around the engine itself, so you don't see as much wires exposed, a much cleaner look. And then we found that the harness was really tight going over to the other side. Once you got to the other side at that cylinder 2, it was really tight in that corner, so I had to pull the harness over a little bit, thus making me come off the wall channel here where I was. So I had to kind of do a little shortcut just to give me that additional wire to get over into that second cylinder coil. Now, after I plugged everything up, just kind of zip tied it here, ran it underneath, give a little slack under there just in case I needed to pull the wire through a little bit more. And then we came over to the other side here, and as I pulled it through, I ran it underneath the footrest, underneath the carpet, all the way around underneath the carpet till we got up to the console, and slipped it right through here. So I have the wire going right through to the console here, which is going to actually plug into the gear shifter, and we're going to do blue to red, and then we're going to do black to ground to black, or just directly to, I believe there's a bolt right in here somewhere, right there, that guy right there. That's where we're going to ground him to. Alright, so I'm going to pause it, and got the console apart. You just tug up on the corner, work around to the other side, tug up on the other corner, and then you lift it up and then slide it back. Did have to take off this armrest like we were talking about before, which wasn't a big deal. So now what I'm going to do is get the gear shift handle here mounted. We did take off the original gear shifter, which I switched out the actual shafts so that I had the right shaft in there. So that being done, I'm going to pause it and go to the next step, which is the putting on of the handle and the wiring. Okay. All right, here we're back. So now we finished with the connectors, the harness from the MS2 two-step, and we got everything all plugged into the coil packs. Some of the wires may show a little bit, but that's because there's no harness actually wrapped around those wires, but we tucked them in as best as we could, and so you only really see it when you're looking from the top. For the most part, it looks pretty good. Ran the harness from the back. You don't see it. We did run it through here to the box, which we mounted over here. So everything is ready to go now. The next step is to go up to the gear shift assembly, and we're going to shift over, change over the threading on the shaft as far as the connecting with the Hurst gear shift assembly, and then we're going to wire it up because we have to do a blue wire from the box here to the button, and then the button needs to be grounded on the other end, which we're going to ground it to one of the bolts that hold the center console down to the chassis. Okay. And so we're going to pause and we'll hit you inside. Okay, here we are. We have the wire running through underneath the carpet, and so I have it running through the foot swell over here, which we had done earlier, and coming out right over there through the clutch area through a grommet, which is hard to see right now at that moment, but I showed you a little bit earlier. And so I'm going to use a little Loctite on the gear shift handle and right here where the threading is to tighten everything in there. So once we get it all nice and tight, oops, there you go. Once it gets nice and tight, it's not going to come loose again. Alright, so now I have the Loctite on the right there. You can see I got Loctite on it, and now got the wiring actually done here, where you can see they have black wire here for ground and the blue wire here for the red. And so now I'm going to tighten down the gear shift handle, and we're going to connect the wires and then put everything back together and see if it works. Alright, so I'm going to pause you for a second. Here we go. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the piece of the console here, this strip that goes here. It's easy to just pry off, and I did that prior. Sorry to not tell you. Okay, so we got the wiring done, and so here we have the black and the red coming from the gear shift handle, which you can probably maybe see in there a little bit. There you go. And then they're running through, and then I'm having them right here. I just connected them to a ground right there, and then I connected the other red one to the blue, and so we should be putting this all back together and giving it a shot, see what it does. All right, here we are, and we have the install all done. Everything's tidied up, all the wires are hidden, everything from the box to the center console all wired up. The switch, the handle, pistol grip handle is tightened in there, so it's all good there. And we're all ready to test it. I'll just give you a little glance of the motor, how it's all finished here. And the engine bay area, box, wires are kind of tucked in there. You see this wire here is going all the way around here. We had to run it a little bit closer, so all the way to cylinder 2 it was a little bit tight, and you can see the wires are pretty hidden. And on the other side, same thing, wires are pretty hidden. And so now let's go in to see the pistol grip handle. There she is. Very nice, clean. The boot itself, just so you know, with this handle, it doesn't have that little catch that the stock handle has that holds the boot up. So I used a little trick. You push the boot all the way up as high as you can get it, and with a hose clamp from underneath, get the hose clamp in there, push it up tight, and tighten it down snug. Now you don't want to cut into the wires, so I used some felt over the wire and wrapped it around the shaft, and then put the clamp over that and tightened it down, and that way it wouldn't damage the wires. But I got in there snug. See, everything seems to be tight. All right, so I'm going to start her up, get her going, and she's going to be a little warm because I started a minute ago and tried to warm it up a little bit. Here we go. Handle, put it through the gears, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, good, reverse, first, alright, everything's good there, hood is open, we know, alright, so if you look at the box, you should be able to see the box light up with a light right there. So it's active. Alright. On. Off. Alright, now I have it set at 3,200 RPMs. And so it should go up to 32 and hold there. It's still a little bit on the cool side. The bar is still there. You see at just around 5,000 RPMs. So it should heat up a little bit, but I'll do a walk around so you can see the car. We have red LED lights here in the foot swells, and then in the back. This car does run 100% E85, and it has a small Brian Tooley cam in it, and it does produce 782 horsepower at the wheels and 835 torque. That's with a hot tune. With a more mild tune, the horsepower stayed the same, but the torque did drop down to 802 with a mild tune. Much cleaned up, more cleaned up tune, and also it does what I'm seeing. The difference in the horsepower is because One tune was a little bit more aggressive. This is a stock, well actually it's a LT4 blower that's been stage 3 ported by the Jokers. So it is opened up as good as it's going to get. It does run better than most LT4 blowers, and it's maxed out. So the more aggressive you just get more torque. But horsepower wise, it's maxed out. Alright, so now we're going to go to the outside, walk around. Alright, I'm going to have Joey hold the, well first I'll show you the RPM range. We'll see if it goes to 3200 and hold. Okay, it's warming up, so I should be able to do the test now. Now I'm not going to put it in the gear. I'm not going to put it in the gear. I'm just going to push the button down and floor it, so I don't need to play with the clutch. Alright, now I'm going to have Joey do it from behind. And I did notice that you have to let the clutch, let the button out at the same time that you're letting out of the gas. Otherwise it will rev a little bit. So you have to kind of get the timing right. Once you let go of that clutch, you let go of that button right away at the same time. And do your best with that.
Beautiful car. Beautiful. Watch this.